Recording. Oh.
Gotta make sure Jesse knows who's who.
He's the chair over there.
All right, well, we're recording. I'll now call to order the meeting of the Improvement and Services Committee for Wednesday, October 1st. Begin with roll call. Alder Eck.
Here.
Alder Prestley is here. Alder DeLee. Here. Alder Ritterbusch.
Here.
Excellent. And to get an approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion to approve made by Alder DeLee, seconded by Alder Ritterbusch. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that carries. On to approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Alder DeLee, seconded by Alder Eck. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. And that is approved. Under regular business. First, consideration with possible action on a request to add flashing beacons to the crosswalks of first Bay Highlands Drive and Bay Settlement Road and second Highland Center Drive and Bay Settlement Road, but to ensure the crosswalk paint is updated and field flags are placed on the yield to pedestrian sign. Director.
Okay, so this item was brought to the Traffic, Bike, and Pedestrian Committee, and it was referred to INS. The second item, Highland Center Drive and Bay Settlement Road, it's my understanding that the crosswalk has already been painted and the field flags are placed, as well as the yield pedestrian sign. So I believe we're focusing on the first item, the request for to add flashing beacons for Bay Highlands Drive and Bay Settlement Road. And is there anything on that you want to say, Jim?
Well, at this time, we didn't feel that the RFP was warranted there. At the time, they didn't have the crosswalk painted, they didn't have the enhanced signs and things like that. So we've now got those items in place. So that's where we anticipate that it would stay.
Okay. Do you have any questions, any comments on that? Yeah, Alder Eck.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought it was saying to reinstall the flashing beacons, but maybe I read that wrong. So they weren't there and then taken out, and now they want to put back in.
Correct, they're never
Okay.
there in the first
Mhm.
place.
And who requested this?
There was a resident from the neighborhood that was looking for this.
Okay.
She made the request through Alder Grant, I guess, is my understanding.
Okay, and then Alder Grant, maybe.
Yeah, she has her hand up.
Alder Grant, if you want to speak on this.
Yeah, so, correct me if I'm wrong though, the crosswalk was painted last spring. It wasn't just recently painted. The yield to pedestrian signs were added, I did see that, and flags were added. But I do remember working with Director Grenier when he was still here about painting the crosswalks, especially after that sidewalk was installed. So that improvement was there, and even with, they had a crosswalk sign there, but not the yield to pedestrian signs, and residents still are not having cars stop. If you're familiar with that road, it is a 4-lane road. It is not far from a highway exit and entrance ramp, somewhat by UWGB, and there's a gas station there. But that area is growing and developing. We have a lot of new development going up in that area, and they are expecting that road to be more utilized. So yes, even I know there's no one on the meeting tonight from residents, but there's been multiple complaints on the neighborhood association about that area. The problem is Bay Highlands is a neighborhood that is separated by this 4-lane highway. And I also know in I believe the 3-year plan, there's talks of a park going on one side, so we may see even more residents trying to cross the road then. I believe, and Director Jusart might be able to tell me this better, or Justin, sorry, that I believe a flashing beacon is only $8,000. Is that correct?
I believe we were talking it was more around 15,000
Correct.
if we don't have to do concrete work.
Is that for 2 crosswalks or just one?
That would be for two beacons. And this one might be more because with the median, you may need a center device as well. So it could be 15 to 20 grand.
Now, when you say, I apologize, 2 beacons, are you referring to 2 beacons within one crosswalk, or are we addressing both? Because there's 2 different spots to cross Bay Settlement through Bay Highlands. So I'm just wanted clarification if you're speaking to both crosswalks or just one with 2 beacons.
Typically, you have the strobe for each direction of travel, but there could be, if this is 2 sets of crosswalks, then there could be 4 PED buttons though. So there'd be a PED button at each ramp.
Okay, and I think at TVMP, it was recommended to only do it in the one because the other crosswalk is closer to that on an off-ramp, that they didn't want traffic stopping over there. So the quote is for the one crosswalk then.
Then that would still be closer to the 15 grand though. 'Cause I mean, they have gone up in price.
Okay.
Alder Eck?
Okay, so clarifying, if both were done, it'd be about 30,000. And I just want to make sure that I'm understanding, there were complaints that came in, and then the field flags were put up, and the, let's see, what else? The crosswalk, it sounds like was painted last spring,
And the yield to pedestrian
and then the
signs.
yield to pedestrian sign. So these were done, as far as the flags and the yield was done after the complaints?
Yeah, there was a crosswalk sign up when the crosswalks were painted. So the basic crosswalk sign was up, has been up, and then the yield to pedestrian sign was added.
So would it be fair to say, why don't we see how it goes with these adjustments and then talk about the beacon, the flashing beacons? So kind of like, this, we actually just had a similar item, and I think it was Alder Galvin that came, and we voted to start with step 1 and then move on to step 2.
And yeah, I mean, this is coming to you guys for your recommendation. I think one thing to note though is we do have a flashing beacon down the road from this location on, by Sitka. So I guess my one thing I would keep in mind is what's the difference between Sitka and this area? It's the same road that people are crossing and the same amount of traffic and residents. So I'm not sure the thought process as to why one went by Sitka and not this neighborhood. So I guess that's just something that I would question and challenge a little bit with this.
Do we have, I thought I remember we prioritized roads that have schools nearby when implementing these, or are there other considerations?
The first batch was done in accordance with the Safe Routes to School.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing, but the Sitka one, there's not a school over there.
Okay.
Because the nearest school would be Edison or Preble, and that's going to be on the other side of the highway.
Is there a park near there though?
But that,
By Sitka, isn't there a park? I
No,
don't have the
this
map
would
in front of
be-
me.
no, there's no park.
Okay, I know
Closer
there's,
by the golf course, basically.
Trying to think.
I was
where-
thinking
is it
Chris McCullough, but
Sitka?
that's
Right,
farther
Mr.
down.
Is it Sitka and Huron? Is it on Huron? Sitka and Huron?
Yeah,
I think it technically changes to Huron, or yeah, it's Bay Settlement that turns into Huron.
Yeah. That's where the confusion is. I think it turns to Huron on the other side.
Mhm.
And this is on the Huron side, correct?
This is on the Bay Settlement.
Bay
side.
Settlement side.
Oh,
no, this is actually on the.
because Bay
Huron side.
Highlands is on the other side, it's on the south side of the highway.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it changes names, but it's the same road.
Yeah, I thought it changed when it went over the highway, it changed to Huron. So, but I could be wrong, sorry.
Well, road name aside, I think I agree with Alder Eck that it may be best to do this step by step. It's been the recommendation that we've taken in similar cases. So, yeah, I would move to receive and place on file for the rapidly flashing beacons. Do we have
So
a
you're
second?
making the motion?
I'm making the motion. I'm allowed to, right?
You can, yeah.
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Alder Ritterbusch. Any further discussion on this?
Yeah, I just think that there's a process that we go by on this, and we just had the same thing with Alder Galvin. And I think we see how this works, and if in the future the flashing beacon's required to add to it, then we can add it at that time. But it's a pretty expensive cost just to start from there and then not start with step one.
Alder Eck?
I just want to, thank you, Chair, to clarify something, and I think you kind of alluded to it. Was there some kind of, traffic study to, or, what do you do to determine whether it's needed or not?
So it goes through the Traffic Bike and Ped Committee, and our
Okay.
traffic engineer reviews it, the conditions and the amount of traffic on the street. I don't know if you have anything
Yeah,
to
essentially,
add.
that's what he'll do, is he'll check the warrants, he'll do pet counts and things like that, just make sure that it is warranted for the installation.
And was this done?
But this one, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was not at the Traffic Bike and Ped Committee meeting for that, but usually those are the things that they look at when they're making their decisions.
Okay, because it looks like they referred it to us. And it kind of sounded like Elder Grant was saying, and I don't see the attachments because we don't have everything here, was that they were recommending one set and not another. Is that what I was understanding, that Traffic Bike and Ped?
Can I jump in? Traffic Bike and Ped cannot authorize anything that costs money. So that's where they had authorized staff to add the signage, but it needed to go to you guys for review or recommendation of the actual flashing beacon.
So they were recommending it, essentially.
Okay, sure.
I think this one was
Okay.
very confusing. This is the one that got corrected at council as far as what the actual recommendation is. It's because there were so many pieces to it.
Oh, okay.
It's my understanding from the traffic engineer that the recommendation was to not approve it. But they at the same time referred it to INS.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to clarify, although I don't really feel clarified, because I don't have what they're, I'll have to look at Traffic Bike and Ped's wording that they have, but anyway, that's,
Can I ask Director Jewson, who can authorize then a traffic study? Is it Improvement Services or Traffic Bike and Ped?
Is that part of the traffic bike and ped?
I would think they would look at the warrants and then bring it to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, can this committee do that at least to make sure the recommendation is accurate?
Refer back to traffic bike and ped? Is that what?
Would we have to amend?
well, honestly, we could make
You
our
already-
recommendation, and then we can talk more about it at council if there was something different that we discovered between now and then, correct?
Should
Yep.
we amend the motion at hand, though, and refer it back to staff for a traffic study? Or refer it back to Traffic Bike and Ped for a traffic study and make sure that that's completed?
I don't know that they would call it a traffic study though, because that seems to imply
Pedestrian study?
something a bit more.
I think that would be applicable though in this case.
Okay.
I mean, you're checking the traffic, so. Yeah, if you
I just want to
do a
make sure,
report
because if we're
staff-
following steps, that simple studies like this is, if that's part of the process, then that at least is underway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, so you're looking to...
Do you want to withdraw
Well, it
your
was his motion.
Yeah, I can withdraw my motion.
So I'll make a motion to refer it back to Traffic Bike and Ped,
Is that-
Or we'd just refer to staff.
or refer it back to staff
Yeah.
To then
For-
bring it to traffic bike.
to bring it to Traffic Bike and Ped for a traffic study.
I think we can refer it back to staff to have the study done, right?
Yes.
We don't have to do we have
Do
to
you
go
want it
back to
coming
Traffic Bike and Ped
Do
at
you
all?
want it coming back to INS then?
Yeah, I would say, I don't
Yeah,
think it has to.
it's all in there.
Because they referred it back to,
I'll write it
they
down.
referred it to us.
I
We're
guess.
just back and forth, back and
Yes.
Okay,
I think,
so.
yeah, I'm trying
Second.
to, I watched that meeting, but I don't remember what they talked about exactly. So I think, because if I remember correctly, staff was not in favor of it, but the commission itself was. So I think if we can refer to staff
Right.
and then bring it back to us, we'll have time to look back.
Sure.
Well, plus then we can bring more information back to you guys so you can make a better decision.
Right,
That-
yeah.
Okay.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion made by Alder Dewey to refer to staff and bring back to INS, seconded by Alder Eck. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, that is referred to staff. Thank you, Alder Grant, for your input on that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, second, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to enter into a state/municipal/financial agreement for STH 29 Shawano Avenue to Walnut Street from Taylor Street to Monroe Avenue for design and construction with DOT project 4180/09/00/70 and to authorize the director to execute the agreement.
Okay, I'm going to ask the assistant director to cover this one and the next one since he's working on those projects.
Okay, what we've got is the DOT in preparation for having a valid detour available for the Mason Street Bridge, is they want to go through and update Shawano Avenue. So what they're looking at doing between Oakland and Hudson was do what we would call more of a reconstruction, where they're going to do a little more intense work on the highway there, or the roadway. And then from Hudson out to Taylor, they're going to go through and just fix the failed portions. So for example, if we get a cracked panel, they'll pull that panel out and they're going to recast it, so that it will be a new road. Same thing from Oakland to the bridge, and then the bridge to Monroe, is they're going to look at those areas and do what they call pavement rehab. So what this agreement that you have in front of you is the start of this process. Basically, what they're doing is proposing the project to the city, and then we'll be signing the agreement saying that we agree to the cost share. On this one, it's a little different. With the construction, typically the construction on these is 100% the state, but in the design part of it, we should do a cost share, and this one I believe is like an 80-20 for cost share. And obviously, the Department of Public Works is in favor of this, and we recommend approving the agreement and then authorizing the director to execute the agreement.
Alder Eck?
Yeah, just to, thank you, Chair. You knew before I even raised my hand, huh? You had emailed us, and so I'm looking at that, and that, because it wasn't an attachment, correct?
Right,
So when you say we're looking at the agreement, it's the one we got emailed.
yes, that's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that, because he's looking
Yeah,
to see if
'cause
there was
it's-
more.
Typically, you look at the cost table on page 2, and it goes through the various costs. And then with the DOT numbering system is you got the 4180-09 and then the 00. Typically, the 00 project is the design part of it, and then the 70 is the construction part of it. The DOT breaks it into two different project numbers.
Alder Dewey?
What is the cost share on that 80/20? Do you have an estimate of what that is, or that the director will just execute that agreement?
If you scroll down, it's actually.
Oh, it's on there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
farther down. It comes on 2 different pages, so you have to keep scrolling.
Yep, it's the
Kinda
second
far down.
page, the top.
Yeah, preliminary for what they have for the total cost for engineering is approximately $493, of which $370 is picked up by the state, and we pick up the remainder. And then they have ballpark, well, $3.2 million for the construction part, of which they pick up 100%. So, I mean, for the city, it's actually a pretty good deal.
Sounds like.
And just to clarify, it was like a 75-25 split
Yep.
on the design.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one, okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
All right, motion made to approve by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder Dewey. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that is approved. On to 3, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to enter into a state/municipal/financial agreement with DOT for Main Street from Manitowoc Road to Lime Kiln Road for design and construction. WIS DOT project 1450-11-00/70, and to authorize the director to execute the agreement. Assistant Director.
Okay, similar to the other one, this is just on the section of Main Street from Lime Kiln to Manitowoc Road. The engineering cost is estimated at $258,000. The state is picking up $193,500, and we're responsible for $64,500. That's a 75-25 cost split. The construction cost is estimated right now at about $1.9 million, and the state's picking up 100% of that. This one is going to be more of a, not really a replacement, but they're calling it a pavement repair. So what they're trying to do is just replace the failed pavement. It's more like what we would do is like a mill and pave almost. So again, DPW is in favor of this, and we recommend approval of the entering into the agreement with DOT and having the director sign the agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion to approve made by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder Ritterbusch. He needs to get his name out there. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Oh, we did.
That is
It was
approved.
a tie.
It's a tie. I broke the tie. All right. I think those are good deals if the
Yeah.
state pays for most of it. Thank you, state. 4, report of the award of contract Southwest Woods / Hinkle Street Extension to Vinton Construction Company in the amount of $3,448,942.46.
That's in my district.
That's lots of money.
Right, so this project is for the Southwest Woods development and the Hinkle Street extension. And we had 4 bids that were received. The low bid was Vinton Construction Company, and so the Department of Public Works is recommending award to Vinton Construction.
Was this one
You
already?
You already
We're
awarded it.
We already
Yeah.
awarded it, yes.
I was saying, because I know we already pre-approved you to
Yeah.
award it. I guess you could say I'm watching this one closely. Motion to receive and place on file.
Okay.
Motion to receive and place on file made by Alder Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder DeLee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Can I
that is
ask you a quick
received.
question?
Yes.
When is this starting?
Soon. I don't have an exact date. We're having the pre-con tomorrow. So
Okay.
we'll know more of a start date after that.
Keep us posted. Okay, no public hearings. On to informational. Report of the New Water 2026 budget update and projected rates.
Okay, so I recently attended a New Water budget update meeting, and so I wanted to share the information with you all. So they usually give us their preliminary budget at this time of year with their estimated rate increases. In December, they finalize their rates, and then we finalize their rates after we receive theirs. The sanitary sewer rate that we charge our customers has 2 pieces. It's based on the new water, wastewater treatment charge, and then the city's cost for operating the sanitary sewer collection system. And just some highlights from the presentation. I believe they are projecting let's cut off here. It was an approximately so initially they're looking at a 6.3% municipal user fee increase. They try to keep their rate increases between 5.5% and 7%. And so they also have fund balance, so when expenses are higher than that, they use their fund balance to offset that and try and keep the rate more stable for the end users. So they are expecting higher expenses, so they're tapping into their fund balance to keep that rate more stable. they've got a lot of different construction going on. As you've seen around town, there's the new water interceptor project, so those are the deep sewers, the black pipes that you see everywhere. That's one of their big construction projects this year. See what else as far as highlights go. There's activity on things that they're working on related to PFAS. You know, they're responding to different direction from the DNR, you know, as far as like permit updates. You know, they haven't gone through their permit update yet, but that's something that's coming in the future, and so that's something they're tracking pretty closely, any new requirements that could be coming for PFAS. And then the other big thing that we're working on is effluent infiltration. So they're working on a draft ordinance that could affect the municipalities. So we've been reviewing that with them and commenting. It's not ready for public review yet, but there was some internal reviews of the draft that they had. Just, those are some of the things that I just wanted to share as far as things we're working on with new water.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna bury these big pipes that are
No,
going along the
those are
roads?
just diversion pipes.
Oh, they're just temporary type?
Typically what you're seeing today, like you're gonna see them on the east side prevalently right now. Like by East High School is where they start. They kind of come up along the river there by St. Clair. And there's some over here by Webster and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Monroe. Same thing, yeah, we're by the U-Haul place where they cross the road. How you're seeing them today is what they're gonna have for the next roughly year,
Okay.
for the construction period.
Year, I was looking at like, it just
Yeah.
takes up the whole
So
sidewalk.
basically what they're doing is they're lining what's called as the interceptor sewer. So what happens is they've got a spine of pipes that go out throughout all the various Green Bay area. These pipes are large. And then like our city pipes dump into them, the Dykesville pipes dump into those. Their system collects it from everybody and then takes it to the plant. But their system is like old, like 40s, 50s, 60s. And so this is one of the first major rehab projects that they're doing with them. A lot of it is for maintaining the integrity of the pipe, helping with the II situation, and things like that. So what they're doing is they're going through and they're going to CIPP line these pipes. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking a, for lack of a better term, like a fiberglass sock, you're
Right.
wetting it out with resin, putting it inside of the pipe and inflating it like a balloon so it's up tight against the existing walls. And then you run steam or hot water through it and that activates the resin. And
Melts.
now you basically have a new pipe inside of the old pipe.
Okay. I was just
And
curious.
now it's good for another 50 to 75
Nice.
years.
And the black pipes, are those the bypass?
The black pipes are the bypass pipes,
Okay.
because what they need to do is they need to evacuate the interceptor
Mhm.
sewer. So in order to do that, what they're doing is like there's a big pit there by East High School. I believe that's where they have the pumps and stuff like that, so they can take and evacuate the existing piece of pipe that they're trying to line and do that, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive, large project.
Mhm.
I saw them put that in the ground. I saw
Cassie,
them
you
put
wrote an
that-
article about that, right? If you want more information, I just remembered that.
Yeah, I was,
I know people were asking about it.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second.
All right, motion made by Elder Ector, receive and place on file, seconded by Elder DeLee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, received and placed on file. Director's report.
Okay, so I just have a verbal report for today. So some things that are happening, we expect our leaf collection period to start on October 13th. That usually goes 5 to 6 weeks into November, depending on the weather and the leaf conditions. And then you may have also seen on social media where there's some streets that they're doing brine route testing for some of the residential areas. They're just testing out potential routes and the time needed and the process. They're using water, so it's not brine.
Right, yeah, not
But it's
brine.
for the upcoming winter. Another thing I wanted to highlight is tomorrow night, October 2nd, from 4 to 6:30, we have our Connect the Bay event. So we have a grant that we've been working on for design of a flood resiliency, a restoration project along the McDonald Properties area next to Bay Beach, and it goes into a little bit into the area next to Bay Beach, around Renard Island. And as part of the grant requirements, we need to have an open house walking tour of the area. So we'll be showing the conceptual plans. We're working on like 60% design with our consultant. And so we're just looking for feedback from those designs. And that'll be at the Paradise North Distillery at 101 Bay Beach Road. If anyone would like to come, you're welcome to.
Food and drinks provided?
Yes.
We have our GBN meeting,
That's right. Yeah.
and then there's a budget
There's
meeting.
the
It's
budget
like
listening.
crazy, all the stuff.
I'm gonna try to do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to go to that too.
I think we got the mayor's minutes tomorrow at Murphy Park, too.
There's a lot going on.
Is there anything, as far as the meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm stepping without asking, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Are you working in conjunction with the county at all on this, or is this all city?
Yes, because the county, the Harbor Commission is responsible for Renard Island, and the project goes, there's some parts of the project that are close to and around Renard Island. So they are one of the community partners, and we've also been working with them, seeking, I guess, their input on the design as well as their buy-in so that we could be partners going forward on it.
Because there was some Brown County supervisors that said something about us needing to give them easements.
Yes, that was a point of
Contention?
Yes.
Seemed a little contentious. Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
ongoing.
so when we presented the project, so the Brown County has been involved, but that was one of the things they were asking for when we presented the project to the Harbor Commission. And it's a parks item, so I passed it on to Director Ditchite. That part is under, I guess, in his hands,
Okay.
as far as what
Give
he's
it to him.
having, it's out of DPW's hands, so.
Okay.
I thought there was an easement signed years ago for that, or like it was approved by council but never signed.
Yeah, something like that was never official, like it was approved, but it wasn't, like the mayor or something didn't sign it, or, I don't know. Have to get to the bottom of that.
It's in Dan's hands.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Motion made by Elder Eck,
Second.
seconded by Elder Ritterbusch. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Our next meeting is October 15th, 2025. Everything we voted on today will go to the full council. They're meeting on October 7th. And for final approval, to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn made by Elder DeLee, seconded by Elder Ritterbusch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Stop recording.